Hello, uh, people looking forward to Christmas and Santa Claus. That guy's got the best job. I think he just works one night a year and then turns over all the hard labor to his wife and his elves, and drinks. It's a good Christmas drink. I don't like eggnog. I've had some that's okay, but the one that I really like is some kind of liqueur. I don't like the subject of liqueurs, but there's a horrible story with me associated with liqueurs. I'm not going to go there. Anyway, an incredibly gorgeous day. Totally Cavu. It's December 10th, 2022, Saturday. It's about quarter of 11 in the morning. Um, I waited in line at a Dunkin' Donuts drive-in for like 10 minutes, 9 to 10 minutes, and it moved like one car. And there was a long line. And then there were people that just didn't bother. They got out of their car and walked in. I just thought, well, okay, there's probably a line in there too. So I went to Wawa, and it's pretty good, actually, and cheaper too. So we got a wind out of the east today. It's very unusual, especially with Cavu. Most of the times you get a Cavu day, the weather's out of the west. There's a weather system moving through, and it clears everything out, and you have ceiling and visibility unlimited. But they're taking off to the east and landing to the east today, which is very unusual. Um, I'm sure you were waiting on with a bated breath to know that. Uh, the sun is really strong. So this time of year, excuse me, this time of year, um, the sun is very low on the horizon all the time. So it's always like somehow or another in your face, and you can see a reflection coming in through my back window. I've got my car pointed to the north, so the sun is directly behind me. But there's I believe there's a glare coming through there. Um, and this season of festivity and Christmas, it's it can be difficult for a lot of people. Um, a girl I know and I went out with very briefly, but see her around still a lot. She lost her father yesterday, and that's always tragic. And then a guy that works where I live lost his father also a week ago. And I wonder if that seems to happen more this time of year. I'm not sure. I know my mother died on December 26th, 1991. I'm dating myself a little bit there. This is my biological mother. And she was gaga about Christmas. She loved Christmas. A lot of people do. And dying the day after Christmas, like, just strange coincidence. It seems like the hype and things happen to people this time of year, good and bad. People that are going through a breakup of some kind or struggling with what's going on in their life. Excuse me, I should move the camera over here because I'm looking at the airport um, to see what kind of crazy, unusual airplanes are taking off and landing today. Uh, Damn, I can't get that glare. It's like this time of year, the glare from the sun is inescapable and very frustrating and aggravating. Excuse me. Boy, do I miss flying. I'm tempted to try to reactivate my license. I'd have to go to ground school, take a complete course in ground school again. I'm looking at anywhere from $300 to $500 for that. My dog, who I inherited from someone, really needs a cataract operation bad. And that's anywhere from $3 to $5 grand. The average, I think, is like $3,500 to $4 grand. And I really shouldn't do it, I've got to pay off all my credit cards first, and that's coming. I've got to take money out of my IRA, which is a taxable event, and pay off my credit cards, which is going to come to about 18 grand, and then they're wiped clean, and hopefully I can keep. Most of that balance comes from the operation I had to give to my previous dog, pay for it for my previous dog, who was killed by the insecticide that they sprayed in our apartment, and I'll never get over that. There's like maybe 3 or 4 things in my life that I'll never get over, and that's one of them. Anyway, just another quick note about taking off to the east in this airport. When this runway is on an incline if you're taking off to the east, and downhill. It's uphill if you're taking off to the east, downhill if you're taking off to the west. So it's interesting to see airplanes taking off to the east because they have to go up. The runway has looks like maybe about a 5-degree incline, maybe 7 degrees incline. And it's manageable because it's like over a mile long. I think it's like a 5,500-foot runway. So for any piston airplanes, it's manageable. For jets, it can be a little tense. So getting back to my dog Haiti. I lost her a year ago, this past October, and it was devastating. It was like she was my partner. Because I moved out of the place I lived in, and she came with me. I moved away from the person that I live with, which I should have done a long time ago. I've talked about that as much as I want to anyway. Some people think too much, maybe. It was a really, really difficult thing. But anyway, so it's cold enough for it to snow, and I think we're supposed to get some snow on Monday, so will we have a white Christmas? Oh, that'd be something, wouldn't it? I got a text message from the Social Security Administration, which is very unusual. And it says, click on this link, there's a message for you in Social Security. Okay, you never click on a link that you get in an email or a text message. You never, never, never do that. So I got to log on to Social Security today to see. I think it's probably about the increase in the cost of living. They call it the COLA, cost of living adjustment, COLA. So I got to take a look at that, but it doesn't matter because they raised the rent where I live. I think the exact amount of the increase in the COLA that I'm getting, and someone's going to have to give in 2023. I hope the market makes some kind of recovery. I screwed up so bad with the market this year, and it's the same mistake I've made. How many times now? This is the third time, I think, third or fourth time. You have to take profits. Take profits. I mean, I understand the whole thing about not wanting to give up future profits, but at a certain point, you take profits, and then if it continues to go up, well, then you can get back in, or you can dollar cost average back in. But like several basic rules that are based in emotions are emotionally affected. Affected by your decision making is affected by your emotions in these situations. When your portfolio has gone way up, you must take profits. You must, and then go from there. It's a mistake. This is like either the third or fourth time I made this mistake, and it's hurt me bad every time. The other, and I've learned this one, it's still something I struggle with a little bit. You need to have cash in your account. Even though the value of the dollar and the buying value, the buying power of the dollar is in the trash can, is in the toilet, really. All fiat currencies around the world are like horribly inflated, and the Fed now looks like they're going to destroy the economy just to get inflation under control, and that's not a good move either. But you need to have cash in your trading account. Look at the glare coming from the stinking. Damn, how do I get rid of that? I don't even know. I can put it down here, put it up here. Maybe that'll work better. I don't know. There's glare. I mean, the sun I've got the sun blocked out. I'm still getting glare from the sun. Any of you photographers out there know what I'm talking about. Anyway, my dog wants to go out. It's like 33 degrees. It's really cold. I've got my B-15 bomber jacket on. It's still going to be a little bit chilly, but hope you guys are having a great weekend. Go Eagles. Actually, I think the Eagles are a shoo-in for the playoffs. It'd be good to see them get a bye on the first round, though. And I'm concerned there's still some weakness in that team. They're 10-1, and you know, how can you say that a 10-1 team has weakness? They do. Their running game is, in my opinion, is pathetic. I don't think it's that good at all. And they ask too much of Jalen Hurts. I would not want my quarterback running as much as he does. Look what happened to Carson Wentz. Look what happened to RG3. Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, he has to run too, but he shouldn't. I mean, he's got a great arm. He can throw. And if he had a good running game supporting him, he wouldn't have to run as much as he does. He's taking a beating. And then in the playoffs, if more than one of the other sectors in your team has an off day, then the quarterback has to step up and do all this running. And that's a recipe for bad injury. Anyway, I hope you're all having a good lead up to the Christmas holidays. My Christmas last year, it was terrible. My dog had just died, and somebody else I knew was dying. I can't even talk about that because it pisses me off so bad. But and not the fact I've talked about that before. I don't want to go back into that. But my Christmas last year was crummy. This year I think it'll be a little bit better. But it remains to be seen, you know. It remains to be seen. And I just heard that my cousin Bernie Jr. in St. Louis passed away a couple weeks ago, November 25th, something like that. Nobody knew anything about it, right? And I just happened to Google it because my one sister called me, who I never talked to, called me a couple nights ago, and said that something about me was on a television show, and I said I had no idea what she was talking about. And I said, okay, that's fine. And then while we were talking, you know, because we had spoken before about Bernie Jr., he had lung cancer, and then he got chemotherapy, and he was cancer-free. Imagine that. But imagine the cancer came back. What a surprise, huh? You know, the medical industry made zero progress on chemotherapy in, like, I'd say 40 years, at least 40, maybe 50 years. Oh, you got cancer? Chemo. You got cancer? Chemo. That's the only thing they come up with. I wonder what they do, the medical community. You know, they need a kick in the ass really bad. You know, come up with something else besides chemotherapy. Come up with something else besides injecting this highly toxic poison into my system, okay? Like, there's got to be another way. So I watched Dr. Berg, B-E-R-G, on YouTube, and there are other ways of addressing cancer. Are they effective? Will they work? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know personally, but he's had some examples on there where it's worked. I'm never allowing chemotherapy to enter my body again. I did it once, and I'm sorry I did. I did it twice, excuse me. I'm taking chemotherapy pills now. I'm taking an oral form of chemotherapy, which is not as much of a shock to the system. I have chronic leukemia, and it's something I'm going to live with. Well, I've been living with it since 2007. So what is that, 15 years? And you know, chemo, to me, it's a real stain and a blotch on the medical profession, in my opinion, too. Like these doctors who think that they're like, they know it all. Like they don't know shit. Why not question? You know, like, and I'm sorry to bring up Elon Musk again, but you know, that's what his approach to manufacturing and product development should be the same in the medical community. Okay, well, this isn't working very good. Like, General Motors, give me a break, man. What a joke of a company for forever. But everybody just kept on buying their products because, no, what else are we going to do? What else are we going to go? There's no other choice except for internal combustion engines. Well, there is now because of Elon Musk. And now these legacy car companies are all up in arms. They're spending all kinds of money trying to trash talk Tesla. And meanwhile, Tesla is on a crazy binge of grabbing market share and selling their electric cars. And that's because of Elon Musk and changing the way things are done in that industry. Well, the medical industry needs that same thing to happen to them. They need a shakeout bad. I mean, bad. And it's not happening. So I watched Dr. Berg on YouTube, and he talks about how important your diet is, and he's right. Now, that's not to say that you're going to start that you've got terminal cancer, and if you start eating lettuce tomorrow, that it's going to cure it. No, that's not the way it works. That's not the way that ever works. But it's a hell of a lot better choice than what the medical community offers you. Okay, we're going to stick you with this needle, and we're going to inject you with like horribly toxic chemotherapy, and it's going to kill the cancer, but it's going to kill you too. It's like, okay, the treatment was a success, but the patient died. Something like that. All right, well, I get on these rants and these pessimistic rants, and I apologize for that. It's just that I don't see what is so optimistic, what there is to be so optimistic about. I can't see it. Maybe I'm blind. Who knows? I see a whole lot more things that are wrong with the world than that are going right. And I'm sure that people that live in third world countries, hear a guy like me say something like that and laugh because they'll say, oh, I have no idea what it's like to suffer. Well, I do. Okay, I do. I feel like I've had my fair share of suffering in this life. Violent, physically, and emotionally. I feel like I've had my share. Anyway, peace, you guys. Peace on earth, goodwill to men and women and children and animals.